My face hit the cold concrete, and for a moment the world stopped. A knee on my back, my hands twisted behind me, a stranger's breath on my neck. "Don't move!" he shouted. But I wasn't moving. I was just staying calm, breathing, trying to figure out who this guy was. Because something was very wrong. Very wrong. In that moment, I closed my eyes and went back 10 years to that dark night in Kabul. I'm Jake Maverickson. I'm 42 years old. And I spent the last 15 years in places most of you have never even heard of, as a Navy SEAL. From Mogadishu to Kabul, dark operations to silent rescues. But 3 years ago, I made a decision. Enough. It was time to give my time to my family. My daughter Lily had turned 9, and I was tired of being a ghost in her life. My wife Sarah's patience was that of a saint, but even she said, "You're either here or you're not, Jake." So I chose to be here. For the first time in my life, the word normal felt like a dream. Pinecrest HOA, a quiet suburb in Northern California. White picket fences, manicured lawns, smiling neighbors. It was like a dream. Maybe a little too much like a dream. But I just wanted a peaceful life. Morning coffee, evening barbecues, Lily's soccer games on weekends. Simple, peaceful, normal. After 15 years of fighting to stay alive, normalcy felt like a luxury to me. Every morning when I mowed the lawn, it felt strange to hold a lawnmower instead of a rifle. The first 6 months were perfect. Our neighbors were kind. The neighborhood was safe. Lily had made new friends. Sarah was smiling again, really smiling. And I was slowly leaving that old Jake behind, or so I thought. Then that woman showed up. Patricia Whitmore, HOA president. Everyone just called her Mrs. Whitmore, like she was some kind of queen. The first time I saw her, that cold glint in her eyes made me uncomfortable. Patricia was in her 50s, always impeccably dressed. Perfect hair, perfect makeup, perfect manners. She was too perfect. Suspiciously perfect. The first time we met, I had a garden hose in my hand and was spraying water at Lily. My daughter's screams and laughter filled the entire street. Patricia pulled up in her white SUV, rolled down the window, and with that fake smile said, "Mr. Maverickson, according to HOA rules, lawn watering hours are Tuesday and Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Today is Wednesday, and it's 3 p.m. In that moment, I felt Sarah squeeze my hand. She was trying to calm me down. "I understand," I said simply. I didn't want to argue or cause trouble. I turned off the hose and sent Lily inside. Patricia drove off, but her eyes were watching me through the rearview mirror. That night, Sarah said, "Stay away from that woman. Everyone in the neighborhood is afraid of her. Last year, she took the Henderson family to court because their trash cans were 10 centimeters in the wrong spot." I laughed. "Seriously? Over 10 centimeters?" Sarah didn't laugh. "Jake, I'm serious. This woman is dangerous." The worry in Sarah's eyes was real. This wasn't just paranoia. The next week, I found an envelope in my mailbox. An HOA letter, grass color below standard. 250 fine. My lawn was the same as my neighbor's. Same day, another envelope. Car extends beyond driveway lines. $150. My car was right in the middle of the driveway. Third day, third envelope. Garden decorations do not comply with HOA aesthetic standards. $300. The only thing in my garden was a painted rock tableau that Lily had made. When I lined up the envelopes on the table, Sarah's face went white. I asked my neighbor, old Mr. Martinez. He avoided my eyes. "Jake, you're a good man, but you can't go up against Patricia. She controls this neighborhood. Fake fines, fake documents, fake everything. The legal route is too expensive. Most people just pay and keep quiet." "Fake documents?" I asked. Martinez shrugged. "Nobody can prove it." "But everyone knows." That night I told Sarah maybe we should move. I looked into her eyes. She was tired. "Jake, no. Lily is finally happy. I'm happy. We can't change our lives because of one bully." Sarah was right. Running away wasn't the solution. It never had been. The next week got even worse. Patricia organized a neighborhood meeting. Everyone was there. So was I. When I entered the meeting hall, all eyes turned to me. Patricia was at the podium with that fake smile. "Ah, Mr. Maverickson, welcome. We were just talking about you." My heart raced, but I didn't show anything on my face. Your unpaid fines total $1,200. If you don't pay this week, the HOA will initiate legal action." In that moment, a voice inside me whispered, "Stay calm, Jake, not yet." I stood up. "These fines are fake," I said in a calm voice. The room went silent. Patricia's smile froze. "Excuse me?" "Fake," I repeated. "My grass is the same color as my neighbor's. My car was positioned correctly in the driveway. Lily's rock tableau is not an aesthetic violation, and you know it." Patricia laughed, a cold, sharp laugh. "Mr. Maverickson, as HOA president, I determine what is and isn't a violation. If you don't want to follow the rules, you're living in the wrong neighborhood." Patricia's tone changed. She was speaking without the mask now, her true face emerging. I sat down. There was no point in arguing, not yet. That night at home, Sarah asked, "What are we going to do?" I held her hand. "I'm going to do some research," I said. And I did. For the next 3 days, I examined HOA documents, Patricia's background, neighborhood records, and I found something. Patricia had never been officially elected as HOA president. There had been no election. She had just shown up and said, "I'm the president." And everyone accepted it because they were afraid. As I stared at the computer screen, those old detective instincts kicked in. There was more. The man Patricia introduced as HOA security officer, someone named Marcus Stone, wasn't a real cop. He wasn't even retired. Just a former security guard, but he wore a fake police badge. And Patricia and he were intimidating neighborhood residents together, using HOA laws as an excuse to enter homes, threatening people. This was illegal, very illegal. The evidence I had was enough to file a case, but I needed to gather it all first. Saturday morning, there was a knock at my door. 7 a.m. Lily was still asleep. When I opened the door, Marcus Stone was standing in front of me, his fake badge gleaming on his chest. 2 more men stood behind him, probably other security guards Patricia had hired. "Jake Maverickson?" Marcus asked, as if he didn't know the answer. "Yes," I said. "For failure to pay your HOA fines, we have an order to seize your property. Please step aside." Time slowed down in that moment. I was seeing every detail, every movement, every breath. "What would you do first if this happened to you?" "You have no authority to seize property," I said. "You're not even a cop." Marcus's face changed. "Who are you to tell me who I am?" I reached into my pocket. I was going to pull out my phone. But it was too late. Marcus pushed me. I pretended to lose my balance, stumbled backward. He lunged forward. And that's how it started. He twisted my arm, or thought he did, but I let him, without resisting, because I knew what this was, a trap, a show. And right then, Patricia appeared from around the corner, phone in hand, recording. It was all a setup. Provoke me, make me resist, record it, accuse me. Marcus shoved me to the ground. My face met the concrete. He pressed his knee into my back. "You're under arrest for assaulting an officer," he shouted. Patricia was still recording. Neighbors had gathered at their windows. I heard Lily's voice. "Daddy!" Sarah was holding her. And right then, a real police car turned the corner. The real police car slowly approached. Officer Rodriguez, a genuinely good cop that everyone in the neighborhood knew. Marcus didn't remove his knee from my back, but his body tensed. I was still lying, motionless. Because now everything was being recorded. Patricia's phone, probably the neighbors' phones, and now the presence of a real cop. Perfect. My breathing was steady. My heart was calm. This wasn't my first arrest. But it was the strangest. "What's going on here?" Rodriguez asked, his voice authoritative. Marcus immediately stood up, puffed out his chest. "Officer, this man assaulted HOA officials. I'm placing him under arrest." Rodriguez's eyebrows furrowed. He looked at me. I slowly got up, keeping my hands open. "Officer Rodriguez," I said in a calm voice. "I didn't assault anyone. This man pushed me, and I stood aside." Beads of sweat were starting to form on Marcus's forehead. In the presence of a real cop, his fake authority was melting away. Rodriguez turned to Marcus. "Can I see your badge?" Marcus hesitated. Just for a second, but it was enough. He took out the badge and handed it over. Rodriguez took it and examined it. His face changed. "This is a fake badge," he said in a cold voice. "And who are you claiming to be?" Marcus started stammering. I'm HOA security. The HOA has no arrest authority, Rodriguez said, and carrying a fake police badge is a federal crime. His hand went to his handcuffs. I could feel the neighbors watching from their windows. This was what they'd wanted to see in this neighborhood for years. Patricia rushed forward. Officer, there must be a misunderstanding. Mr. Stone is our security officer. A security officer who carries a fake badge and identifies himself as a cop? Rodriguez asked. The color drained from Patricia's face. I'm the HOA president. According to official records, this HOA has no active president, I interjected. Everyone turned to me. I've been doing research for the last 3 days, I continued. Patricia Whitmore was never officially elected. There was no election. And HOA funds aren't regularly audited either. I pulled out the USB from my pocket. It had all the evidence, documents, bank records, everything. Patricia's mask completely fell. That fake smile was gone, only anger and panic remained. Rodriguez took the USB. We'll need to examine this at the station, he said. Then he turned to Marcus. Put your hands behind your back. Marcus's face turned red. This is ridiculous. I was just doing my job. Is your job tackling people to the ground without arrest authority? Rodriguez snapped the handcuffs on. The click of metal echoed throughout the street. The 2 men behind Marcus quietly backed away, trying to disappear. But Rodriguez saw them too. You two stay. What are your names? Patricia suddenly started crying, fake tears, her last play. But it wouldn't work on Rodriguez. 2 minutes later, 2 more police cars arrived. The neighborhood had turned into a complete circus. Neighbors had come outside, watching silently. Mr. Martinez was smiling. They probably hadn't seen him like that in years. The Henderson family stood at their door looking incredulous. And Patricia was still crying, but nobody cared anymore. Rodriguez approached me. You had to do this, didn't you? He said. I just nodded. A detective arrived, a young, sharp-eyed woman named Detective Chen. She spoke with me. Mr. Maverickson, how did you find this evidence? I told her everything. That HOA documents were public, that I'd researched Patricia's background, that I'd identified Marcus's fake badge. Are you military? She asked. Former, I said. Navy SEAL, retired, Chen nodded. That explains a lot. This evidence is sufficient. Patricia Whitmore and Marcus Stone will be charged with fraud, use of false identification, and extortion. When Patricia was handcuffed, she screamed, This is unjust, she said, but the words were empty. The following hours were a blur. Statements, documents, photographs. Rodriguez told me, this neighborhood has needed this for years. Patricia and her crew defrauded at least 20 families. Fake fines, threats, illegal seizures. But nobody dared to speak up. Fear is a powerful weapon, I said. Rodriguez smiled. But you had more powerful weapons. Knowledge, patience, and a Navy SEAL background. Rodriguez and I shook hands. This wasn't just a neighborhood dispute. It was a fight for justice. That evening, a neighborhood meeting was held. A real meeting. Patricia and Marcus weren't there, of course. The Henderson family organized it. The hall was full. Everyone spoke. Everyone shared their story. Patricia's tyranny, Marcus's threats, years of fear. And everyone thanked me. But I just said, I only did what was right. Because that's what it was. Mr. Martinez shook my hand. I wish someone had shown your courage years ago, he said. The neighborhood elected a new HOA president. By democratic vote, Mr. Martinez won, an old, wise, fair man. His first act was to cancel all of Patricia's fake fines. His second was to review and make the HOA rules fair. His third was to give me a thank you plaque. It read Pinecrest Hero. I hung it on my wall at home. Lily looks at it and smiles every day. The neighborhood kids were now playing freely in the street. Patricia's shadow had been lifted. Patricia and Marcus's trial lasted 3 months. Both were found guilty. Patricia got 5 years in prison, Marcus got 3. They also had to pay restitution to all the families they'd defrauded. In the courtroom, Patricia looked at me one last time. That anger was still in her eyes. But it didn't matter anymore. Justice had been served. As we left the courthouse, dozens of neighbors were waiting. They all applauded together. 6 months passed. Life returned to normal. Real normal. Morning coffee, Lily's school rush, Sarah's rose garden. Barbecue parties with neighbors, kids playing soccer in the street. HOA meetings were now boring and routine, exactly as they should be. No drama, no threats, no fear. When I mowed the lawn, I didn't worry about anything anymore. This simple act felt like freedom. One Saturday morning, there was a knock at my door. My heart rate quickened for a moment, old reflexes. But when I opened the door, a young couple stood there. "Mr. Maverickson?" the man said. "Yes." "We're moving into this neighborhood. Mr. Martinez told us about you. We wanted to meet you," I smiled. "Welcome to Pinecrest." The real Pinecrest. I offered the young couple tea, told them about the neighborhood, not the Patricia era, but what came after. That night, I stood in front of my house. The sun was setting, the sky painted in orange and pink tones. The street was quiet but peaceful. Children's last laughter, dogs barking, the sound of a lawnmower in the distance. Normal sounds, beautiful sounds. Sarah came up beside me, took my hand. "Are you happy?" she asked. "Yes," I said, and I really was. Sarah rested her head on my shoulder. "You'll never change, will you?" She said. "I hope I don't," I said. For 15 years, I fought to make the world a safer place. In dangerous places, on dark nights, in operations nobody knew about. But my most important battle was in this quiet suburb. Because this time, what I was protecting wasn't just my country, but my family, my home, my peace. And I won. Not as a warrior, but as a father, a husband, a neighbor. Medals and badges were important, but Lily saying, "I love you, Daddy," was more valuable. I think about Patricia sometimes. I wonder what she's thinking in prison. Regret or still anger? I don't know. I don't care either, because she's in the past now, and I'm in the future. Lily's graduation, Sarah's dream garden, the laughter at neighborhood picnics. These are my battles now, and they're worth fighting for every day. Rodriguez stops by from time to time. We have coffee, share neighborhood news. That's what friendship is. Today is Lily's birthday. She's 9 years old. We're having a party in the backyard. The whole neighborhood is invited. Colorful balloons, cake, children's laughter. Sarah looks at me, smiling. I'm smiling too, because this is living. Not dangerous operations, not enemy lines, not dark nights. This family, community, peace. Martinez brought a birthday present, an old HOA plaque. "Just kidding," he said. We all laughed. Midnight, after everyone's gone, I'm sitting in a lawn chair. The stars are bright, the air is cool. Sarah's asleep inside, so is Lily. My house is quiet. The neighborhood is peaceful. And me, I'm just Jake Maverickson, former Navy SEAL, retired soldier, a father, a husband, a neighbor, and now a hero. But most importantly, someone who's home. I put my hand on my chest, felt my heart beat. This was peace, real peace. Is real victory about winning or about not forgetting who you are? I don't know, but I know this. That day when I was lying on the ground, a knee on my back, Marcus yelling, Patricia recording, even in that moment I was calm, because I knew that in the end, justice would prevail. It doesn't always happen that way, but that day it did, and that's enough.